The police command in Benue on Sunday said the death toll from Saturday's gunmen attack on mourners in Katsina-Ala Local Government Area of the state has risen to 9. The police public relations officer, DSP Catherine Anene, told the media in Makurdi that the police were still investigating the circumstances surrounding the attack and its aftermath. Anene explained that 4 persons were killed at the burial of Torgbev Amafo in Tongov, while additional 5 were killed during reprisal attacks by Amafo, Sati Agirgi and Ikura TF communities. She said the killings were suspected to be the frequent clashes between Ikurav and Shitile people in the area in recent times. The clash cut across 3 villages. There is no reason for these attacks. Several peace meetings with the communities have yielded no positive result, Anene said. The gunmen attacked the mourners in the early hours of Saturday, as a result of which 4 persons lost their lives on the spot, while several others sustained severe injuries. The area has witnessed serious criminal activities in the past 4 years. Now, joining us in the studio at this hour is legal practitioner Malaki Ugummadu, who is also the National President of Committee for the Defense of Human Rights. Good evening, and thank you.
I'm delighted to be here. Thank you for the opportunity.
We're happy to have you.
Good.
So, we've seen different turnouts of events, recently with the killings in Benue State. And what was your first reaction when you saw this report of innocent people who were killed at a funeral in Benue State?
Well, I think the starting point is to express our sympathy. Our hearts goes out to the families of the victims. Absolutely. And the communities correct. Where they come from. It is one killing too many.
Sure.
Unfortunately, it is avoidable, given the fact that that's already a flashpoint, considering that the occurrence of these incidents have been, predictable. And one had expected that sufficient security arrangements would have been made to forestall, as it were, the repeat of these unfortunate, avoidable disasters. So I think it speaks to the general security challenge in the country, whether in Taraba or in Benue or in Anambra, all over the country. I imagine that the government is sufficiently concerned about it. Okay. But in several sense, it seems that the approach and strategy adopted are not effective. It's not enough to throw money at issues. It is by far more important to understand the objective factors that will bring about the change that you want to see. So what is the challenge with our security? To what extent can a government continue to be, complacent or laid back on the issue of destruction of lives and property? Section 15 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, subsection 2B, insists that the security and welfare of the people of this country shall be the primary purpose, in the absence of which there is no need for government or governance. And therefore, if that primary purpose is now so badly imperiled and under siege, then the purpose and the essence of government itself has a very big question mark. So once we have agreed that there are issues, serious issues regarding the security architecture of this country, we must go back to the drawing board.
So would you, in that case, subscribe to the school of thought that says, some of our heads of security structural agencies of the country is overdue and, we're not seeing any result? Maybe should we change them to be able to get a positive result and, ending to this mindless killing? Whereas
that is important, because I imagine that there could be liturgy, there could be, very, very convoluted situation that requires a change, a space for fresh air. However, it must not stop there. Do recall that even the Chief of Army Staff, a few months ago, very few weeks ago, remarked that they are not getting results because there is no sufficient commitment of the fighters, on the front line. What does that tell you? And there is no motivation. And then how does motivation come? It could come by way of the remuneration. It could come by way of the incentives. It could come by way of what happens to the loved ones of these fighters, these soldiers, when they are gone. What is the insurance policy, for instance? But I think that above, by far more than that, particularly with respect to the police, is to first deconstruct the Nigerian police force. You cannot be talking of a centralized police system in a heterogeneous society like Nigeria, where you are dealing with issues of religion, issues of ethnicity, and all sorts. You cannot be effectively controlling or policing Nigeria from Abuja with respect to issues in Bargan-Ladi or in Oka. So the issues of state and community policing is not just long overdue, it must be attended to. That way, you are removing from the prejudices. Look at the clash between the soldiers and the police. If of course, we're beginning to see what happened, the investigation will reveal the details. But where you don't have a coordinated, effective synergy within the security agencies of the country, you see some of the, issues such as this. I understand that there are criminal elements or components of what must have happened. But the point I make is that you cannot effectively police a society that is this heterogeneous without understanding the effective way of applying the community and state policing. Okay. What about the recruitment processes? There are many people who go into the police system simply because they didn't get any job, and so on and so forth. So indeed, what is the reward system for policemen who, put their lives on the line just to ensure that there is security? Do they get rewarded? How are they penalized when they also commit some infractions and so on and so forth? Okay, so indeed more needs to be done. We need to bring it down to the people and to be able to get positive results. Correct.